I'm Leonora, and I have finally jumped on the bandwagon. About 7 years too late, I have jumped on the bandwagon and read City of Bones. It has taken me way too long to read this book. City of Bones. If you've been living under a YA literary rock, I'll tell you what City of Bones is about. City of Bones is the story of this girl named Clare, and it starts off with her, she's out in the town with her friend Simon, and they go into this all-ages club, and they're having a great time, and then she sees a guy get stabbed. So, right from the beginning, we're thrown headfirst into this world of demons and magic, all this really cool stuff, and shadow hunters. Shadow hunters are badass. So Clary sees this guy being stabbed, but nobody else has seen this guy being stabbed. And this is weird because she just saw a guy get stabbed, and when she talks to her friend who's right next to her, he doesn't see it. And then the next day, she runs into the guy who stabbed the other guy. And the guy tells her that there's this world that she doesn't know about. And there are these people called shadow hunters who protect humans from demons. And it sounds really cheesy, it sounds really YA, it kind of is, but it's a whole bunch of fun. This guy is Jace Wayland. He is hilarious, he is wonderful. I read this book for Jace, guys, just for those one-liners. That's why I read it. But Clary's mom also goes missing, and there's this, evil guy who we thought was dead. Oh no, but he isn't dead, because villains in stories never actually die the first time, especially when we didn't see them die the first time. Never trust somebody unless you find a body. Never just assume that somebody's dead, and if a body's charred beyond recognition, it doesn't count. This should be a general rule that is taught to all people ever. It just should be, because then we would have a lot more dead villains and a lot less dead awesome people. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book, in case you can't tell. It was a lot of fun, it was really fast-paced, it was really funny, it didn't take itself too seriously, which is nice when you've got a book like this that isn't really that serious, and it isn't something that you can really turn into a serious topic. Teenagers fighting demons, guys! So serious! Must take this so seriously, and it was just a good amount of fun. Should you read this book? If this sounds like the sort of thing that you're into, if you're into YA, if you're looking for something fun, fast-paced, little fluffy, little light, check this out. If you're more into the sort of I want quality literature that makes me think. I want things that make me ponder my existence. Don't read this book. Just basic rule, if it doesn't sound interesting to you, if it doesn't sound like something that you would have read if you didn't know anything about it, because of course it's sort of got a bit of an almost Twilight-like reputation around it, and the new Shadowhunters TV show is not helping. Oh my god, that TV show is so bad. Anyway, but if it sounds like something that you're interested in, pick up the first book, and if it isn't really your thing, pick up the second book too, because I will agree with everybody ever that the series gets better as it goes on. This is actually my second time trying to read the series. The first, there was a traumatizing event at the end. And if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. So, that's as far as I can go without revealing any spoilers. So if you haven't read this book, and you think that you would like to, go read it. Let's talk about things that I've read and all the spoilery stuff. Yay! So, as I just said, the ending, where we learn that Clary and Jace are supposedly brother and sister, that was what turned me off the book way back in 2013. I was really enjoying it up until then. I was shipping Clay so much, and then it's by the way, Valentine's my father. Well, Valentine's my father too. Wait, what? How does that work? We're brother and sister. And I just closed that book and I said, but I can't go another one now that you've turned my OTP into BroTP, but like still, oh god, this is disgusting, this is incest, this is worse than Star Wars incest. When I first saw Star Wars, I shipped Luke and Leia, and then of course we find out that they're brother and sister, but that's okay because she was never really into him. But here, it's like, it's even worse. I can't deal with it! I can't deal with it! I need place! But, so I finally learned, okay, I'm going to put my hand up. If you don't want any spoilers for the next few books, mute. Don't listen. Take those earbuds out until I put my hand down. So, Clare and Jace are not actually brother and sister, and that made me want to go on with the series because, you know, all of my favorite booktubers really enjoy it. And I really enjoyed it when I first read it up until that point. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to come back, and I am so glad that I did. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about all of the awesomeness that is Jace Wayland. Petition for him to marry me. Can he just marry me? I'm proposing to him right now. Look, it's a hair elastic. It's like a ring. Marry me, Jace. I'm going to actually stab stuff. Clare never stabs stuff. It's like, I like you, Clary, you're pretty good, but I wish that you stabbed more stuff. But Jace is awesome. I put some of my favorite lines that he has on a piece of paper while I was reading, just so that I could share them. So there's this scene near the beginning, which was one of the scenes I didn't really like. There weren't a lot of scenes I didn't really like, but it just felt too cheesy. They're on a train, and Clary remembers that, oh yeah, I didn't really realize it, but Jace is pretty. Oh my god, he's so pretty, because there are these other girls staring at him. And so she ends up staring at him, and he goes, what's going on? And she goes, those girls back there, they're staring at you. And his reaction is, hey there, ladies. Of course they're staring at me. I'm stunningly attractive. I was hooked at that line because it pretty much sums up this book. There's some iffy stuff, but there's just so much fun stuff. Some other awesome Jace scenes where there's a scene where Clary's friend Simon is with them, and Jay says something. I don't know what it was. Oh, it's page 171. I could go look that up, but I don't have time. And Jay says something that makes it really obvious that he likes Clary, but it's also Jay, so it's sort of like sassy and funny at the same time. And Simon's just there like, stop! Stop! I love Clary! You're not alone! And Alec and Jace, Alex just sort of makes some comment about why is there still a mundane here? And Jace, who has been less hostile towards Simon than Alec has, just goes like, get rid of the mundane. Mundane, you are gone. You are gone, mundane. Jace, your jealousy is showing. Another awesome Jace line was, at some point near the beginning, Clary says, Simon, and it's actually Jace. And he goes, no, I'm Jace. Simon is the weaselly little one with the bad haircut and dismal fashion sense. Burn! Then, of course, there's Jace's new motto for the Shadow Hunters, which should be their actual motto since Jace is a genius. Shadow Hunters, looking better in black than the widows of our enemies since 1234. But my favorite Jace line is not actually one of the most clever ones, but somebody makes some reference. They're in this restaurant that just serves downworlders, and somebody says, you know, it's an investigation. And Isabel goes, oh yeah, it's an investigation. Maybe we should all have code names. And Jace goes, good idea! I shall be Hotshot von Hugenstein. Hotshot von Hugenstein? That shouldn't be funny. I shouldn't love this as much as I do, but I do. Also, Magnus gets a really great line, which I think was one of the sort of like more inner reflective. There are a lot of things which I feel sort of like poke fun at YA books throughout this entire book, and this is probably the best. I've actually got the scene bookmarked on my phone. And Clary makes some references. Magnus has just told her that, like, you know, there's something different, you know, she's lost her memories, and she says, all my life, I felt like there was something wrong with me, something missing or damaged. Now I know. And Magnus interrupts her and says, I didn't damage you. Every teenager in the world feels like that, feels broken or out of place, different somehow. Royalty mistakenly born into a family of peasants. The difference in your case is that it's true. But I just love the first bit where he's there like, no, the fact that I took your memories isn't what makes you feel like this. It's the fact that you're a teenager that makes you feel like this. And you are special, but you feeling this way isn't because you're special. Everybody feels this way. And it was just really awesome because it just sort of felt like an acknowledgement of, I relate to that. I relate to that so much. So I've hit way past the 10-minute mark. Those were my thoughts on City of Bones. I had such a good time with this book, and I'm going to go straight from this into my City of Ashes review in another video. So, see you then. It should be in like a few minutes after I see if I can actually edit this thing, because I'm going to try that. Let's see how it goes. Bye!